with an overview of Elisab as a business, how it's evolved, and where you are today.
Well, first of all, good morning. And we're very proud to be part of that very special moment for Kuwait. I think it was about time to have such an important event and to start shedding the light on this important culture. And we're very proud to be part of that moment. Elisab is 40 years today. It was established in 1982 by my father, Elisab, who sold his first dress to his neighbor. And from there on, decided to take the brand or his designs to the region. And from the region, decided to start reaching a more global market and presented his first show in the mid-90s in Rome with the Alta Moda. And it's important to note that at the time, there was no designer from the region that has ever entered into the Camera Nazionale della Moda in Rome or any international scene. So definitely he was seen as, what is this guy coming to do among us and what is he going to show? But when he came into that market, he came in with a following which he has worked on and built between the 80s and the 90s from the whole region. And from the pictures that I saw, you would see a set of very prominent clients today that were present at his first show. So he came into Rome showing his first haute couture show, but not only that, he also brought in the clientele from the region with him to Rome. After that, he has decided to join the French Federation for Haute Couture, and he was an invited guest at the time in the early 2000s, and kept on persisting to be part of the big names such as Chanel, Dior, which are the defining brands of the fashion industry today. 6 years after, he was named as a prominent member and just not just as a guest into that Chambre syndicale de la haute couture française, which is a very selective community of designers and probably the third or fourth non-French to be a prominent member into that Chambre syndicale, with the Valentino, Armani, and Versace probably, to be a prominent member, which will allow you to call your couture haute couture and not just couture. From then on, we have managed to also globalize the brand and introduce different lines of businesses. So from, of course, haute couture to ready-to-wear, cosmetics, perfumes, kids wear, watches, and other product lines, lifestyle and homeware recently. And little did we know, the name and the man became a brand. So this is where we stand today.
It sounds very interesting. We will drill down into that to find out how you did it, because I know it's not as easy as all that. But you were immersed in the business at a very young age, so you've witnessed this evolution. There is probably no one better placed to tell us how this magic has happened. Tell us about the time when you joined the company as CEO and the challenges you faced, and what are your plans?
Well, I grew up with the brand and with this business. It was always my dream and aspiration to be part of the brand and to see this brand grow onto unlimited potential. I remember as a kid, I didn't really want to play with other kids. I wanted to be with my father whenever I had some free time. I wanted to be with him, and with him meant building the business, because his whole life was dedicated to building the business and to making this business what it is today. So by being with him meant, by definition, being part of the business, whether sitting with the seamstresses in the atelier to being on business trip with him around the world, and that was my main drive and motive. So I've seen the brand grow from where it was to where it is today, and the brand is part of me, I would say. As any entrepreneur, Elisab had a lot of ambitions and is a very ambitious person. So definitely, to grow and to expand on your brand, you need to also sometimes accept challenges and failures. So definitely, when he decided to have some capital and to expand the business globally, which we did, sometimes growth comes with the challenges that any entrepreneur or any business can face. And this is what we also faced as a business, as an enterprise, and we're not ashamed of that. In the contrary, we are proud of the mistakes that we've done, because at the end, that some mistakes are what makes you who you are if you manage to come out of them in a correct way. So by late 2018, we were sitting, myself and my father, and he said, we must have done something wrong in the way we have developed the business or built everything that we have built. He said, probably, yeah. I said, do you know what it is? He said, I'm sure I might have a clue. And he's like, would you know how to fix it and to put us back on track? I said, I think I can try. He's like, are you sure? I said, no, I'm not sure, but I can certainly put a plan together. He's like, okay, go ahead. And from there on, he gave me his full trust and support to put in place that plan and execute on that plan. The business, the way I started to manage, was in a tougher place than I thought it would be. Definitely, when you have a big management and a board taking decisions and governance, that's very good, but if it's built in the wrong way, it can lead up to wrong decisions. So I started dissecting each of the problems that we had and to tackle the root of what this problem might be. And in 2019, definitely, the internal problems were bigger than the external problems. So we started with the restructuring plan throughout 2019 and yielded important result and tackled all the restructuring plans that we wanted to put in place. The plan was not to think about the top line and growing the brand, was to going into the roots of the organization to make sure that we have the right foundation to think again about growing the brand in the next phase. End of 2019 went according to plan. 2020, something happened that was unpredictable, which was COVID-19. COVID-19 was a very tough time for everyone, but at the same time, because we have started our restructuring plan in 2019, gave us a head start to other brands which started the restructuring plan post-COVID-19. So we had 1 year of head start to reorganize, to build, and to enhance our restructuring plan during the time when things slowed down. So while things were slowed down, this is where we accelerated further our plan to restructuring, to reorganizing, to going and and this gave us more time to go into deeper roots of not only the solutions that will support us in the next phases, but also the strategies that will support us in growing the brand. Because the brand is what supported us along the way because of the strength of the brand and how important and how we saw the love and admiration people had for the brand. This supported us along the way to also know that once the COVID and the challenging times for the world will end, we will be ready to be positioned with a strategy that fits our size, our plan, and our organization. So definitely, we started to include, of course, the online. We included new systems, new structures, new supply chain strategies. We had to do some tough decisions also of closing down some stores which were less important than others, yet maintaining an important footprint in the key capitals of the world, and come back and build back the business as the world was waking up and coming back to its normal pace and even faster pace today. So it has been a very interesting and challenging journey, and I must say that those 3-4 years that went by were probably the most important years of my life, and that made me who I am today.
I suppose going back to 2018, when you came in and felt that there were changes that needed to be made, to us looking from the outside, everything looks exquisite and heavenly and desirable. This Arab brand doing incredible things on the world stage. What was actually not performing, or what did you need to fix?
Listen, from the outside, for sure, you would not maybe feel the challenges. That's also because the brand is strong. And maybe if we had sustained or maintained the business as it is, we would still be doing well. But what I realized, the situation or the way things were organized were not going to support the ambition my father and myself had for this brand of building a multi-generational legacy for years and years to come. So for sure, maybe there was not, let's say, red alarms, but they were red alarms comparing to the plans that we had. Some of the things that we need to organize is, of course, starting from the top, our equity structure. We had a partner with a 20% stake. During that period, we managed to now exit that partner, and today Elisab is 100% owner of the business as a family and as a group. The supply chain structure. We knew that coming into COVID and coming out of COVID, there was going to be some supply chain challenges. We knew it while COVID struck, because at the end we did not want to disappoint any of our customers, even if there was the COVID excuse, and even if Lebanon had a big blast, etc. We did not want this to be an excuse to deliver on our promises. So we put in place our own factory that develops and produce the core products of Elisab. So anything that is close to the couture identity, which is a craft that we have managed to introduce in Lebanon and build on. So this is a craft that even the Italians, which we work with a lot on manufacturing, cannot do what we do in Lebanon. So this showed us that that's an important point of strength that we need to build on as a brand. So we institutionalized that, and we've hired 200 people that is dedicated to produce Elisab gowns and ready-to-wear bridal gowns as well, completely produced and managed by us, while we still externalize some other parts of our supply chain, such as the more ready-to-wear, that is day wear, more structured, things that are less in the expertise of what we can do. So the supply chain, of course, the management team, we had a big change in the management team. I wanted to have people that can share our values, first of all, and secondly, can bring their expertise in supporting us in driving the business. And I would say that we've managed to have a good set of people around the table today that support me in a lot of the decisions that are taken and into the plans. Of course, the tools of the business that are key. Imran was just speaking about artificial intelligence, and it all starts with the data. So we integrated a fully integrated ERP system that starts from design, manufacturing, buying, performance management, and tracking, which also puts everything back under one system. And many other things which I can't recall, honestly.
No.
Those past 4 years
That's
seem like
enlightening.
10 years. But all of that while developing the business. Because while doing all these reforms, there was also a lot of new categories that we wanted to enter in as a brand that we managed during the toughest time of the world to introduce, such as lifestyle, where when we talk about lifestyle, I would say furniture, and the whole world that comes with it. So you can furnish a full house with Elisab today. The design services that comes with it. So we've also ventured with a lot of key partners around the world to introduce Elisab Real Estate, to be able to also create visibility to that vision and legitimacy for Elisab homeware around the world, that we have done very well with different partners such as Amar in Dubai and other partners. So same for kids wear and things like that. And all of these lines were launched at a very critical time where there was the COVID. But I was talking to my partners and saying, guys, don't worry, even if the demand is low, it's a good time for us to organize ourselves for when the demand comes back and the world wakes up from this drama. We will be ready to cater our clients in a good way. And this is what happened. Once the world, now we have a good problem that we cannot produce enough furniture to deliver as high the demand is. So, yeah.
Because on that note, Elisab really is a truly global fashion house, and a house beyond an haute couture brand or a ready-to-wear collection. You have all these product lines. Is that your definition of real true success? What are the values that you were speaking about earlier that the management team share to bring together this global house?
Well, the values that I was talking about are more linked to the people side of the job. I'm sure there's a lot of people that have a lot of technical know-how and can be very strong at this and very strong at that. But then if they cannot live in an environment that is, let's say, friendly and different, I don't know how to explain it, but I always describe our culture as an enterprise, as an entrepreneurial culture. An entrepreneurial culture is very much different than any corporate approach. I cannot say we're a startup, but I prefer to operate today as a startup where everyone's involved, everyone feels part of the growth of the business and feels that they are contributing to their own mission as well. So there's a lot of this that comes into who should be around the table working with us, and it starts with who are you as a person, and can we get along already as a family? Because when you enter the Elisab management, you enter in a family. And we like to work in peace. We like to work in a focused way and in a fun way, but yet in a very serious way.
How big is the company now? How many employees are there?
Today, we have north of 500 employees, but 300 directly driving the group. The rest are more linked to the manufacturing company, which is the additional 200,
Yeah.
and another 100 for haute couture company as well that manufactures haute couture.
And the factory that the newer factory, is that in Lebanon?
It's in Lebanon, yes.
Okay, amazing.
It's,
That's a fantastic achievement, and I think something that we would hope could be replicated throughout the Gulf.
Yes, sure.
There's a huge need for more
course.
manufacturing.
This factory was one of the dearest project to me, and I remember when it started. It started in the midst of the pandemic, when no one thought that they can go to work. I called up a few of my colleagues and said, let's meet up at this place and start calling up other people to come together and start this factory. And today, at the time we started with 25, then the next month we were 50 and 100, and today we are 200 people working, and it's already delivering good results. Today, when we're living in a very competitive environment, especially a brand like us, which is independent and not part of these big groups and conglomerates, we have to have a competitive advantage beyond just our creative edge and the desirability of the brand. You need to have operational competitive advantage. And I would say that today, for Elisab, it would be to deliver its product before anyone else can deliver them, because this will create a longer shelf life and a longer time for our partners and our stores to sell and reach their customer with the product, because of the short cycles that fashion has imposed on us.
Yeah, so the business side is absolutely crucial, as Imran
It's very key.
was pointing out. So today, Elisab has flagship stores in Beirut, Dubai, Paris, London, and New York. Any more on the horizon?
Yes.
What can you tell us? Is this a world exclusive?
No, I have no secrets. As I said, we did not stop as saying we just need to right-size the company. We were always thinking about, okay, what's the next step for Elisab? So definitely diversifying our portfolio of product and offering was a key aspect, but also growing our core is another important aspect. We've diversified during the time where we could not, let's say, grow the business, because of course the pandemic was there, and internally we were still not ready to absorb the growth that we wanted to put in place. Because before going into this new phase of growth for the brand, we wanted to ensure that all the plans that we have put in place for the organization, for the operation, for the supply chain, the management team, which a lot of them was new, can all work together. Once we made sure that there is some light, we did not make sure that everything was perfect, of course, because our nature is that we want to, we're always eager to grow and develop. We started to plan and work on different opportunities around the world. We just opened our new generation of store on top of those 5 stores in Abu Dhabi last week. So in the time we used to have 2 stores in Dubai. Today we have a store in Dubai and a store in Abu Dhabi, which are beautiful windows, I think, for the market. We have done a pop-up last winter in Saint-Barth, which will be translated into a permanent location as of this winter. We have a presence, we have a store this summer in Saint-Tropez. So this is also a good time to, people are eager to travel, maybe less eager to be in cities and stuff like that. So it's a good place where people can see you, have a good exposure to the brand, and at the same time, be close to your customer and do some good business. We will be opening in Milan in the next month. We have an opening in Qatar, and sorry, I'm just like KSA end of the year, and Cairo, and a few others.
Well, we're very grateful you found the time to be here today because you're exceptionally busy.
Honestly, I'm very pleased to be here, and even if the schedule is tight, that's why I'm only here for one night. Otherwise, I would have stayed longer. But because the time is very short and the plans are very big, I only could be here for one night.
Not at all. We're grateful you could be here. Now, as I said earlier, passing through duty free, going back to travel, Elisab is the only Arab name that you see in amongst the European luxury brands, the American big beauty giants. So I think this answers the question already, but is the Arab world fulfilling its potential as part of the global fashion industry? And what are the challenges that people face in becoming the next Elisab?
Well, it's a very wide question. To start with, I believe that there is a lot of talent in the region, and not just in one or two countries, but in all the GCC and the Middle East area, let's say. Nevertheless, I believe that the ecosystem of fashion as a region is not strong enough to support talent to compete on in an international standard. There are some exceptions that are arising and that we are seeing, but those are exceptions that could have come out from anywhere. So definitely there needs to be a lot of work from an ecosystem and infrastructure standpoint to support these young talents. And it does not mean just one country doing one job. To be able for the Arab world to be competitive, there needs to also be some unity at a regional level to support and curate young talent. We cannot consider that one country can succeed alone, because I'm touching on some geopolitics here, but in an ideal scenario, it would be the case of that. And it also starts with education, which is something that at the level of Lebanon alone, and with the means that we have and the time that we have, we could contribute slightly to that, where we have collaborated with the London College of Fashion and the Lebanese American University in Beirut to do a small curriculum to start graduating young designer as a bachelor in design and fashion. But that's at a very small scale. But then, okay, if there is no ecosystem post-educational degree to support those young talent to exceed and to practice their know-how, this is where the discrepancy is in the system. So definitely there is still a lot to do, and for sure the talent is there. And us, Elisab, we are ready to support whoever that is ready to put the right means to bring back our know-how, our expertise, our understanding of what it takes to grow a brand and to mold the right talent.
Yeah, it feels like the vacuum is perhaps on the business side, because we have so many incredible designers. We see at Cannes recently, many Arab designers dressing celebrities and stars and having incredible press coverage, but that doesn't translate into the business that you have with a fragrance, with real estate, with furniture, with timepieces. It's making that leap.
Correct, and the sustainability. Today, you can be a designer, you can dress a few beautiful ladies here and there, but then again, what's the core of how you are sustaining your business as a brand, what's the next step for you, how are you reaching to your customer. Not all the brands want to have this lifestyle element, and this is not the only sign of success. This was our vision, to become a lifestyle brand, to be diverse in the product that we offer. That has always been our vision. That's why we believe that we are on the right path. But it doesn't mean that all the designers need to have that to mean that they are successful.
Sure.
But at least in what they do best, they should have a sustainable business that is standing alone. It could be haute couture because they decide to maintain only haute couture approach. It could be only ready to wear, but the most important part of that is to have a strong identity and to know what you're offering and to have a very clear vision of what you want to offer to your client. This will help you stand out locally and internationally.
Yeah. And do you think that governments and investors, national stakeholders, should really pay attention to and support the creative industries, specifically fashion in this case? What are the national economic and cultural benefits of having a thriving fashion industry? And we've already heard you've got 200 people employed in Lebanon in the factories.
Correct. Listen, for sure, I believe that the governments around the regions should take this industry more seriously and not just say we have a few brands, we have a few retail stores for brands in our country. No, there's a whole lot for fashion than just having some brands here and there. No, you have to build the youth, equip the youth with the right educational baggage, first of all. Secondly, support them in putting in place that industry, because, as you know, it's a very costly business to start up, and if you do not have a governmental support that is not just thinking about how to make profit out of this brand, of this industry, but solely subsidizing the industry in their local countries, then it will be very difficult for brands to come out. Because one of the things I realized in the Middle East, that anyone that feels like they have a little talent, they immediately only think of becoming fashion designers. But sometimes it's not, the industry does not need only fashion designers. Sometimes the industry needs industry experts. And I'm not talking about the business side only, I'm talking about pattern making, for instance. Pattern making is, for me, one of the most fundamental part of the industry, because it all starts there. It's all start of how this product is conceived, what is the DNA of this product, how did I put it in place, and how am I going to be able to translate this product into a production. So these are all facets of the business that are key. And a lot of times I see people skipping steps and saying, I want to immediately be a designer. But sometimes if you have an industry, it's good for people to be part of a company, experience what it takes to market a product, what it takes to develop a product, what it takes to design a product in a very technical way. So there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah,
sure.
And we can see how that learning paid off with your evolution through the company and
Correct.
seeing everything at the coalface and having this foresight now to have really prepared the company, future-proofed the company. Two more from me, and then I promise I will throw it open. So Imran earlier touched on NFTs, non-fungible tokens. Does anyone here own any NFTs, any fashion NFTs? Two. Okay, fascinating. So obviously, Elie Saab's roots are in haute couture, in craftsmanship, in the artisanal, the pattern making, the embroidery, this intricate work. As we move into NFTs, and I'm sure in 5 years, if I ask the same room the same question, more hands will go up. How is this interplay between a very physical craft and a digital craft going to play out? How do you see that work? And also, what NFT do you own?
I have a CryptoPunk.
Okay. A crypto punk.
But in the Web3, let's say, as we call it today, is still a clean slate, and it hasn't been yet exploited. So no one can predict exactly what will happen. But what I can say is that today we are having a lot of fun with it, and we're experiencing it, and we're trying to understand where is it going to go, and where is it going to take us. There's a very interesting world linked to that, and a very particular audience that might be a future audience of fashion, or some. How can I say it? Today, if we talk about the Elisab customer, the typical Elisab customer might not, her daughter might own an NFT, and the daughter of her daughter might have a crypto portfolio or a crypto wallet. Today, it's a very, we're having a lot of fun experiencing how this will turn out. And I must say, the stronger your identity is as a brand in the real world, the easier it is to come and translate it into the digital form. We're not going to completely change the identity of the brand when it comes to the digital form. It's just a way of expressing the brand digitally, and with those new means that are coming out in this world. So let's see where it will take us. But definitely we have a lot of plans in this.
So can I buy a
this field.
couture Elisab digital dress?
Hopefully soon.
Can I afford it? This
yeah.
is the question.
Yeah. If you invest well enough your crypto portfolio, you
I
could.
need to work on that crypto wallet. Amazing. So one more, and then I will open it to the floor. I think you've answered this, but I want to speak about it a bit in depth. Your long-term goals for Elisab. Historically, many fashion brands that have started have ended up becoming part of LVMH or Kering. That would be the real nod of achievement, I suppose, that you become absorbed by a giant, tend to be European conglomerate. You now, Elisab now owns 100% of the business. Is LVMH on the horizon? Is Kering on the horizon?
Listen, maybe at one point, they all were. But that was prior to us taking the move and deciding that we want to own back 100% of our group back internally. If you look at the history of brands that have grown and become the huge brands that they are today, have always diluted their equity as they grow. Whereas I believe we are peculiar in a sense where while we grow, we have bought back the equity in. So, that's for a simple reason, is because it was time to really take thorough long-term decisions. Sometimes when you have a partner, they might see 5, 6, 10 years if they see long terms. But what we wanted to do, as I said earlier, is to really bring back the equity in, come back to the roots of how we want to grow our business for the next generations to come. While we think of all of this, our primary goal is to have the choice, to give the destiny of the brand that probably it deserves. We don't want to do anything by force. We want to grow, means we are forced to sell. We are so forced to do certain things that other businesses do, and they're free to do that. But for us, we want to build a long-term legacy, and in 5, 6, 10 years, we can assess what are our goals, what is the next step. But at least we will have the choice to do what we feel is right for the brand. So, and we'll see.
And perhaps you could be the Louis Vuitton of the Middle Eastern LVMH equivalent. On that note, do we have any questions from the audience? I think probably time for about 3 again. If anyone would like to raise their hands. Who's brave enough to go first? Any questions out there for Elisab Junior? Yes, please. Could we have a microphone for us from the back here, please? Thank you so much. If you wouldn't mind just saying your name, that would be wonderful.
Hello, my name is Fadia Farah from Shalhoub Group. We'd like to know your contribution to LAU, the university, the fashion section. Okay?
Yes.
This is my university and we are proud of you. Thank you.
Maybe 7 years ago or so, we were at a lunch with the president of LAU, Dr. Jabra, at the time, we were exchanging and brainstorming on how we can support the university on the fashion segment. And we came up with the idea of introducing a fashion curriculum. And the first thing we said is that we do not have a particular expertise today to educate people on what fashion means and what designing means. We have the expertise of doing fashion, but not on educating. So we went and scouted for different universities around the world to see who would be the best partner for Elisab Fashion University in LAU. And our conclusion was that London College of Fashion, because they understood different cultures and because they already had done the job in different parts of the world, so they could be adaptive to cultures, to understanding the needs and the core of what we need to push on in Lebanon versus in London, was the right partner for us. And we've put a curriculum in place. We meet the students every year, and from different graduations. So the second year we go, we meet them, we check their project. The last year we advise them and we choose the best out of the class. So we're very much involved into the program, and it's a program we're very proud of. Today we have managed to graduate more than 150 students from this particular school. So it's something that we're always proud to see.
And are they learning the entire discipline, or is it purely design?
Design, and they have some courses that are part of the LAU, which are a prerequisite.
Yeah. So next we need some business executive fashion training.
Correct.
That's the next one. If we have any educators out there. Any more questions? Would anyone else like to ask Elisab Junior anything before I let you have a very quick coffee? Anyone? Hands in the air? Yes, please. I'll wait for the microphone to come over to Manu again from Harvey Nichols here in Kuwait. No, we love curiosity. That's why we're
Hi
here.
there.
Hi.
Are you looking to expand into menswear in the long term?
It's in our IDs, but first our priority now is because we've launched so many new lines and we've diversified enough, we need to make sure that at least what we have started is on track, but it's always in our thoughts. We are men ourselves, so we need it as well for us. So, but it will come, I'm sure, but in the right time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. And I hope it's embroidered and sparkly.
I'm not so sure. The thing is that every line of business that we've entered into, we've respected the line of business we are in. One of the partners we were meeting prior to choosing the partner we are with today for furniture showed me at the time his idea of what Elisab means. And it was a couch that was embroidered. And I said, you're definitely not the right partner. And I was happy to meet you. And because That's not the idea. The idea is to have the Elisab feel in everything we do. If you look at our homeware line, maybe if you look at the couch alone, you would say, I'm not sure which brand this is. But if you look at the whole universe together, it comes together as, okay, it makes sense that that's an Elisab universe. But it's not embroidered. So that's very key. So if we enter into menswear, we have our idea of what our man would look like. And it would be in line with the men universe and the industry and the competitors we are competing with. I don't see a lot of men wanting to wear embroidery all day. And they want to wear men to be men and to enjoy a certain identity that might be different than what you would find at Tom Ford or somewhere else.
Definitely. Well, universe building, what a
Yes.
great ambition to have. And I'm sure it's one shared by many people today here in the audience. Thank you so much. Oh, we have one more. Sorry.
Hi,
Front row. Here we
my name
go.
is Gabriele from Corto Maltese. Ellie, I wanted to find out the challenges, if any, you had going from brick and mortar to e-commerce throughout the years, and if you had any challenges, of course, and because you do couture and you do ready-to-wear, what were the biggest challenges, and if so, how did you solve them?
Thank you, Corto, for this question. The initial challenge about us entering the e-commerce world is making sure that we had the right product at the right time. And of course, while we were having some supply chain issue in the past and some merchandising strategy discrepancy as well, we could not pretend to be present and have our own e-commerce, be present on Farfetch and other platforms. As soon as we put in place the strategy to reorganize our supply chain, the first thing we had in mind was to also make sure that we're ready to offer the right product that could be easy for our consumer to purchase online. And that's what we did. Once this was done, we had an important launch. And today I must say that our e-commerce, our directly operated e-commerce, is yielding the same result as any of our brick and mortar stores, which is very promising to us, and it's still a start, but we're seeing very, 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 very good organic results. Thank you for.
Sure. Let's do one more and then quick coffee break. Oh, thank you.
Hi, I'm Grace Gordon from Sabo Flair in Dubai.
Hi.
And I want to say congratulations first on 40 years. That's a tremendous success. And I also want to say I'm very proud of you for refusing to be devoured by a multinational conglomerate. So well done. It's very rare these days.
Thank you.
My question is, since there's so much talk about sustainability here at Oud Fashion Talks and in the fashion industry at large, how important is a sustainable focus to your brand?
It's very important, honestly. The way we're approaching sustainability is like we're approaching everything that we're doing in this new phase of growth. While COVID hit, and of course we were on a V curve, when you're rethinking of your strategy and how you want to grow, one of the key components of how we want to grow was the sustainable approach. Already Elisab as a brand is naturally sustainable because we do haute couture, so it's by demand production. That's our core DNA. And we've translated this into other lines of businesses. So we're not into the idea of mass buying, mass producing. We're very curated in the way we buy for our stores, and I'm sure how our partners buy Elisab. And of course, naturally, a brand like Elisab is expected to use very natural products and not very much driven synthetically. But yet again, we did not stop there. We wanted to make sure that those ideas are cemented in how we're growing our next phase of growth, because this is our state today. But definitely the products are growing, the demand is growing, the shops are growing, and our production line is growing substantially. So for sure, we wanted to grow in a correct way, hence why we have hired someone that is a sustainability manager in-house that is working with all the departments to ensure that while we grow, we are making sure we tick the box and making sure we grow right and sustainably. It's easier for us than big conglomerate having to step back and rebuild it all again sustainably. So,
Can I ask if that cross applies to your development with Emaar in Dubai?
excuse me? I didn't get
Your development with Emaar in Dubai, are you also building that sustainably?
We are not developing we are not developers. We just support in the design, the marketing, the look and feel of the place, but we are not builders per se. And Emaar is a publicly listed company, so I'm sure they have their own boxes to tick when it comes to sustainability. But in general, that's we try to work with sustainable partners, but sometimes you can control that, sometimes you have less control. And
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Grace. And thank you so much to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elie
Thank
Saab Jr. Fascinating
Thank you.
insight. So good to have you here in Kuwait. We have about 10 minutes. 10 minutes for a quick leg stretch, coffee, restroom break. If I could ask everyone, please, to be back here at 12:30 for one more talk before lunch with the wonderful Rashad Tabiat from Al Othman. He doesn't often speak, so you guys are in for a treat. If I could ask you to be back here at 12:30, that would be incredible to hear the story of Kuwait's first ever luxury boutique. Thank you.